Hello and welcome to my super messy desk. Today I thought we could just sit down together and have a little catch up, little chat. It's that weird time as I'm filming this between Christmas and New Year's where nobody knows what day or what time it is. And I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I feel like we haven't had a good sit down chat in a while. So my desk is a mess because I've been really struggling with figuring out what my setup is going to be for my planner and journal in 2023. And I feel like I finally figured it out, per se, as it were, but I have not actually officially set everything up. So I didn't want to do a setup video because that didn't feel timely, but I didn't want to leave you with no video because chat about the struggles, because I want you to know if you're struggling to figure out your setup, which I know a lot of you are because I posted that on Instagram and a lot of you were in the same boat. I want you to know that you're not alone and it is figure outable. What I had been doing, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, so I printed out my planner, which I can't even show you what it actually looks like because I've covered it all up, which we'll talk about, but well, I can because I started January. So I printed out my life planner that I'm working on as a monthly insert. I know lots of you have been asking questions about this. The planner is coming, but I was not able to get it out for the new year because I was working on the magical membership. But now that that is launched and we are in it, I'm hoping to have the planners kind of finished and out for the spring season, kind of like, Hobonichi does a spring release, so why can't I, right? I was testing out as a monthly insert this planner because I didn't know what else to do and I hadn't picked a planner. So I had my December insert in here. Let me just show you what I used in December. In December, I had this shoved in here. When I say shoved, I quite literally mean that. I had my personal journal in like this. I had my manifesting magic this year. And then I had a bunch of loose papers floating around, like my year ahead spread and things like that. So this is really what I used in December. And then I got this. I thought I was going to use this as my kind of personal / magical journal for the new year, and I am, but I struggled really hard with this because it's this god awful color. I don't know what possessed me to buy this color. This is a moleskin. It's supposed to be neon green, but it's like this disgusting shade between a yellow and a green. So it's not neon green and it's not neon yellow. It's in between the two, and I'm just so not here for it. But I think I'll figure it out. I tried to see if I could paint it black and it just wiped off. So that's what that is. I also had this. This is the Coloring Book of Shadows Magical Planner for 2023. Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to use it as, but I wanted to have a planner with all of these astrological dates on it. Not to use as my daily planner or anything, but just to kind of keep up with that. And I have made a plan for this. Again, I'll talk all about that in my setup, but I did finally figure that out. So I had these two journals just floating around and didn't know what to do with them. And then I had an extra insert that I used for something. I used 3 pages out of it last year. So I decided to take the pages that were blank out and cover it, and I was like, oh, I'll just use this as my creative journal or whatever, because I'm really leaning towards this type of traveler's notebook system. Even though all of my journals don't fit in here, I can still carry them around like this. And right now I'm really craving, that portability, everything together, but everything still has its own separate container type of vibe. So this was my way of doing that. I didn't actually put anything in the strings. I just was sticking things in and carrying it around like this. And then I would take out whatever one I wanted to work on. which did work really well. The only thing I was having the biggest issue was, in fact, my creative journal. Now, I don't know why I have creative journaled in this manner, in this junk journal, throw it all in mishmash type of manner for like the entirety of my channel, right? But for some reason I wasn't like getting into this. It felt too removed from everything else I was doing, and I didn't want to put my creative journaling into my personal journal, which I had been thinking about, because I do like being able to bring out my journal and show Chris things. Chris is my husband, for those of you that might not know. I like bringing it out and like showing him pictures and things that I've done, but my personal journal obviously is like personal. Now, I don't journal for other people, but it is nice to be able to share those like memory keeping type things with him. So I was really lost on where that all fit in. And then I did this crazy thing. So at this point, if you're even following along, put your favorite emoji below. Otherwise, you probably already clicked off this video. I know this can be kind of confusing, but I'm just trying to walk you through my process, and my process was very confusing. So hopefully this is helpful if you're lost. So I was lost on what to do for my creative journal and what to do for my planner. And my personal journal is that god-awful green thing, which I'll just figure out where to work with. So I had already nailed that down. Then I started looking at my planner, and let me show you this week. So using my planner, some days I write my tasks down and I have a lot to write down, and then some days I'm just using the weekly part of my planner for like this is today and this is yesterday, and nothing really happened except for like the call that I had to do. So at the end, I'm just, you know, all this is blank. And when I went through and burned my journals, I noticed that a lot of them that I burned was my planner, because even though there were things written down in there, like, you know, I had dinner with my dad or like whatever that I wanted to remember, there wasn't enough in there to warrant keeping a whole book. At this point, guys, I have bins upon bins upon bins of books that I've used in the past. I was like, how can I make this more useful for me and have all of my memories together in the same place? And then I was like, what if I did my creative journaling inside of my planner insert? Mind blown. So this morning, I had gone through a couple before and put in some of the different pictures, but I really went through this morning and tested out the theory. I put this tip in. I wrote little notes next to things I was gluing in. I went back and I filled in blank spaces with photos. And usually I'm not one to mix journaling with planning. I find it super distracting. But because I was putting them in weeks that had already gone by, it didn't matter. Like, you'll notice on this week, I don't have anything on here because I'm still like, this is still a planner at this point. Like, I'm still using this week as the planner. But, you know, the rest of it is all done. So I'm not covering up anything I still need, but I'm covering up blank space that's left after I've already used the pages. And what happens is, I end up with all of these fun things that I've written down. There's a couple of like to-dos here and there, which I don't really need to revisit. But like here, we watched this video series and I wanted to remember that. And that would have gotten lost, and I would not have rewritten that in my journal. Like, this never would have made it into the journal unless I printed out a photo of it, and then I probably would have forgot all about it by the time I got to my creative journal to put it in there. And yeah, anyway. So this is where I'm at this point. I don't know how long this will last. I don't know if it will start to drive me bananas. But for now, I think that I even put a little pocket back here with like extra things in it, a card I received. So I think for now, mixing my creative journal with my planning insert, as long as I continue to only put in the like photos and things after I've already finished using the planner page, then I should be okay. And if I fill up a whole page with planning, then I can just do this and add in a tip in. So that was like a huge thing for me this morning, and I really wanted to share that with you. And let me say that this took months to figure out. Like, what felt like months. It was probably only a month, but it felt like months it took me to figure that out. So all of this messy thinking to say is that don't give up. Try different things and figure out a way to like make it all work. You know what I mean? Like, the secret wasn't going to buy a big new planner. I just had to figure out how to combine them and my mind to still be happy. And I think this is going to work for now. So I'm going to put this away. I don't know what I'll use this insert for, but I'm sure I'll use it for something in the future. Or I'll probably use it, you know, once this whole planning and journaling together thing is driving me bonkers. That's kind of that. So I'm still kind of working on my entire setup. I know that this is probably going to be my personal journal, and I've actually done things inside the journal, but the cover is driving me nuts. So eventually I will switch over to that. My current journal is still this. And you know what, I'm at that weird part where like, I don't really want to move out of this guy because I love him so much, but I also want to move into this one because it's a new, it's a new month. So I'm a little torn. I may just end up working in both at the same time. Let's be real. So I need to work on my January setup. I have like cards in here to remind me to say thank you to people, which obviously isn't working. But I need to work on my January setup. I need to work on doing some type of setting up some like collage things in here. I finally nailed down, where is it, my word of the year and all of that fun stuff, which took a while to come to me as well. But when it did, it was like, aha. So again, I literally put this together last night. So if you are at a spot where you're like, it's going to be January and I don't have my stuff together yet, you're not alone. It's not too late. Do your thing, do it slow. I'm still going to be working all of this out probably in February, so there's that. I need to work on setting up some stuff in that. I'd like to do some more decorating in this and kind of making it my own. This I think I'm going to use as a self-love type of journal. I have another journal that I'm using that has to do with like a bunch of cycle tracking, and that one is actually really good in the way it's set up to look at these phases and things, which is why I originally had purchased this one. So right now I'm just kind of writing in the morning what I need. That's like what I'm filling the planner space with. But I want to build out some more of these front pages, maybe, you know, fill in more of the color. This page is already coming out of the glue binding, which I'm a little not happy about, so I'll have to fix that. So I need to do that. I have this giant like thing of stuff here that I need to like, a lot of it's stuff I pulled out to like collage on things. So I need to do that. And yeah, so I thought we could just, all that to say, I just wanted to chat with you, and I thought we could end the video me just, you know, doing some journaling and whatnot, good old-fashioned styles. That's what we're gonna do. I did finish finally my year ahead spread, and I used this Tarot de la Nuit, and I also used some type of ocean oracle. I can't remember the name of it exactly at the moment, but so I have that insert all finished here with all the things written out. If you want to know all about how I did this, I will leave a video linked. I posted it last, just kind of chatting about that. But yeah, I'm a little lost as to where to start, to be honest. And shuffling cards always makes me feel better. So we're going to do that for a second. What do I need to know today? Page of Cups. Make it fun and romantic. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to romantically journal together. Because why not? I just love this deck. Isn't she pretty? This is one of my favorite cards too. The mermaid and the skulls and the... Okay. I think I need to glue some things randomly in this journal. So let's do that together. It's a very chill journal with me. So grab your stuff. Let's hang out. Let's chill the F out. All right. We're gonna stick that there. And I like doing this, especially in my like personal journal, where I just like randomly stick some things on the pages. And then when it comes to writing, you know, usually they have something to do with what I wrote. And if they don't, then it's just things I liked anyway. So it's not a big deal. But it gives it some interest as you're flipping through it. Or as I'm flipping through it, because I usually don't share my personal journal. But you know what I meant. Okay, so there's that. I'd really like to put the, I want to use this as my January image. I think. Or do I want to just... See, this is part of like my vision board, but I haven't made my vision board yet. And my vision boards these days I usually make on the computer. So I've just kind of like created a visioning section in the beginning of this. So I think that's where I'm going to stick this. We're going through goal setting and magical vision boards and all kinds of things like that within the magical membership this month. So this is kind of like prepping space for that. I have a feeling I'm going to regret cutting this apart, but it is what it is. I always just like throw those things like in the trash or recycling under my desk, and then I'm like, I hear it hit something and I'm like, did I just throw that on the floor? Like and sometimes I do. Sometimes I look under my desk and there's just like a pile of little paper bits on the floor and I'm like, oh yeah, totally missed the can. Anybody else do that? I used to have a little trash can thing on my desk, and when I moved my office, I don't know where I put it. I really need to find it again. Alright, so there's that. Usually in the front, I like to write my little welcome note. But I also need to draw my sigil, which I will do. And I have that random mango sticker there, but whatever. All right, what else do I have in here? I know I like pulled a bunch of things out of magazines. I would really like to use this somewhere. Do I want to use it on here? I think so. Let me rip this. And there's no rhyme or reason as to like what I use glue on and what I use tape on. It's just like, I don't know, an automatic choice. I tend to gravitate towards glue for like things that are like magazines or paper, and then I'll use my tape runner for like photos, but that's not a hard fast rule by any means. And I already put that on the back. Is there anything else I'd like to put back here? Oh, here we go. I wanted this. Nourishment to fuel new beginnings with satisfyingly sweet combinations of familiar. Doesn't that just sound delicious? I'm not entirely sure where this is going to go yet, but wherever it does go, I'll have to cut it up because it's too long. I'm just going to put it here, but I feel like it needs another, like it needs more stuff behind it before I put that down. what does this say? Oh, I love this. Sometimes we catch it out of the corner of our eye. A flash of light, a glow in the distance, a spark we feel compelled to follow. It stirs something deep within us, so we turn ourselves toward it. We want to see where it's coming from, where it might lead, what promise it might hold. See, this is where the dilemma comes in, right? I want to put this in my creative journal because I want to just like art it the F up and like see it all the time as I'm like flipping through it. And it's just for like inspiration. But I don't want to only see it in the month that it's in. So now I'm like, well, if I'm doing the insert thing, where does this fit in? Like, there's no reason I couldn't do it in this journal. But it just doesn't feel like it belongs in this journal. You see the dilemmas? Actually, I could put this in my spiritual handbook. Because that is very like, yeah, that feels like it's like that. And then this is a book that I also just, I usually don't do much art per se in this, but this is how my brain works. I'm always working on like 50 journals at once. Anyways, this feels like something that belongs in here somewhere. This is all like astrology and elements. All the notes on those things for reference. I could put it like on one of these pieces of vellum. I don't want these to come off though, and they totally will because glue will not stick to this. So I need to find something to cut this up and put this on top of, because then at least I could like paper clip it on if it doesn't stick, right? Then I don't have all these words peeling off everywhere. So let me find something to put that on. Alright, found some paper, found another one of my rings. Realized you might not have been able to see half of this the whole time. If that's the case, I do apologize. So I have this I ripped out of a planner that I added to the burn pile. So I'm thinking maybe this, although I don't think this will fill up the whole border. So I was thinking maybe the graph. Or do I just straight up glue it on here? I might just do that. After all of that, I might just do that. All right, I'm gonna need a clip. To pull this down. And then I gotta cut a million little baby pieces of this, which I'll probably speed up because you don't want to sit through that. And then I had this revelation while I was thinking here. So remember how I said my dilemma with this thing was that I wanted to put it in some type of creative journal so that I could revisit it, but I had discovered that I needed to do my creative journaling in my planner. Therefore, the planner is only 1 month at a time, and I wouldn't be able to continue looking at it. So then I didn't know what to do with it. Oh, shoot. I'm just now realizing. So let me finish talking you through that, and then you'll realize why I said, oh, shoot. So I have all of these things, you know, piled up here, and a lot of them have to do with some type of visioning that I've created for myself, but they're not part of my vision that I want to put like on my vision board for the year. I don't want to say it doesn't go on my thing, but I don't know. It just didn't. This and this, which I glued in here, didn't feel like they had a home because of those like feelings around them, and I didn't know what to do with them. And then after, I was like, Leanne, you have this magical book. Why aren't you going in there? And this is one of the things that I felt needed to go in there. So I was thinking to myself, well, why don't you do some type of like little, something like this, you know, like a little insert type of thing, but I need this back. For that, I guess I'm just gonna, I can't really cut it out. I don't want to rip out the whole page, but if you've taken my Creative Freedom Journaling class, you may remember the exercise where I showed you how to make little mini pages while breaking in your journal. Here's the ruler. And so basically we're going to do that and pretend that we did it on purpose. So I'm going to hold this on here like so. Rip part of the way down like so. Then I'm gonna do this. So coming off of here, I like to do these like cloud shapes sometimes. So we're gonna do that. Take my mini scissors, cut around. I'm gonna cut this off actually because it's easier to maneuver that way. So I have my piece back, and then I'm just gonna keep cutting this out. See, everything's figure-outable. This is a lot harder than it looks, by the way. This is not the easiest technique, but it is super fun. Like once you're done, of course you could just, you know, do this shape and then tip it in, which would be way easier for you, but there we go. Now we have that. And I'm going to put the same cloud thing on the other side. Just tracing the outline of my cuts so that it doesn't look as weird. And voila! Problem solved. Alright. Hopefully those all stay there. I feel like it needs something. Usually I outline these things. And it's usually the moment you either love it or you regret it, but you can't take it back. Going over it twice makes the messy scribbles look intentional. It's my secret. 2 or 3 times. There we go. That does seem a little better. And then we'll put the sparkles. It's my new favorite thing. Instead of stars, we're doing sparkles. I mean, I still do stars, don't get me wrong, but who knew I'd ever switch my default, huh? Okay. So there's that. Here I have a new sigil that I'd like to add. Which you saw me draw in the front of my other book. So I'm just going to take this scrap piece of paper from my desk, pair it with this cut off from the magazine, make that into a tab. Where's my tiny attacher? No, no, it's okay. I have more staples. This is like my tool bin. Every time you watch me like grab for like glue or something somewhere, it's in this bin, which I pretend is a shelf. I mean, which I pretend is a drawer on my shelf. Right. Perfect. Always nice to know we weren't just jammed and that we're gonna have staples flying out at us. Stranger things have happened. Here we go. Here we go. Old friend tiny attacher is fixed. Where'd that clip go? Cause she thick. Perfect. And then I need a little paper clip. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's on there. This I'm actually going to need to use soon. Love that. Okay. Looking at the different things I need to put in here. I have a lot of stuff shoved in here that I haven't yet like completed, which is the nature of the book, but that was fun to work in there a little bit. And then I have my little things that I can make my other little insert with. I'm feeling good. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to end this here. I hope that you enjoyed this extremely chatty video, listening to me work through different issues with my setup, kind of sharing with you where I'm at with it so far and seeing how I'm kind of working through those issues. I know a lot of us have problems where like we don't know which book to put which thing in, and we often end up, you know, with a lot of journals or planners that we don't keep up with because we try to keep things too separate. So it definitely is an issue we all have, but I think that there are definitely workarounds with it, as you saw me kind of work that out. And then I think utilizing things like this where I'm like, oh, I want to have something like a collection, right? Like your 2023 year ahead spread could be a collection, wishes for you and your partner could be a collection, but they're, you know, most of us don't stick to any long-term books. So having some sort of mini like insert book that you make and can travel with you throughout your various journals is a really great way to kind of combat that. And even if you have like a bunch of these little inserts, whenever you're kind of done with that and don't need to revisit it, just leave it in whatever journal you're ready to archive, and then it's just kind of there, which is what I did with my year ahead spread. So did they give you a little idea? Let me know down below where you stand with your 2023 setup. Are you like all your ducks in a row? Have you like not even thought about it? Are you kind of at that stage where I am, where you're like kind of have it figured out but you're still super confused about some things? Let me know. I'd love to have a good old conversation with you in the comments. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.